Nice to meet you.
You guys all wash your hands. All right, ladies, you will see motion cards at your chairs. Just leave those people right now.
You can go ahead and put your number on.
First thing we're judging you on is how. Okay, so congrats making it to the state level for Parley Pro. You guys will get started. You'll have 1 minute to look at your cards. You can write on your cards, make any notes on those that you would like. You cannot talk to each other, and you cannot do any super secret sign language or gestures to each other. After that 1 minute, we will get started with your demonstration. You have 11 minutes. After 11 minutes, you will start getting deducted on time. And then after your demonstration, we will do oral questions. You guys can all see the clock, correct?
Yes.
Any questions before we get started? Okay, Mr.
Okay.
Meyerhauser is going to give you
Yes.
the instruction.
All right, you may pick up your cards and sit down and get to work. You have 1 minute. That is 1 minute. Dr. Maxwell will begin the timer on the count.
Does any member know of any new or unfinished business which should now be presented?
Madam Chair,
Number 3.
thank you. I move to reconsider the motion that the Macomb FFA chapter work with the Township Road Commissioner to coordinate a roadside cleanup day this summer.
Second. It has been moved by number 3 and seconded by number 2 that we reconsider the motion that the Macomb FFA chapter work with the Township Road Commissioner to coordinate a roadside cleanup day this summer. As maker of this motion, number 3, you have first right to discussion.
Thank you. I believe that we should reconsider this motion, seeing as we have never done this before, and we need more community service hours for our chapter since we didn't get very many in this year, so I encourage all of you to vote yes.
Is there any further discussion? Seeing none, we will now proceed to vote. All those in favor of reconsidering the motion, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, please say no.
No.
The noes have it, and the motion fails. Is there any further business which should now be presented?
Madam Chair.
Number 3.
Thank you. I move that the Macomb FFA chapter conduct a surplus hay drive in our community during the month of May, with the proceeds to be distributed to a drought-stricken FFA chapter in Kansas.
Second. It has been moved by number 3 and seconded by number 2 that the Macomb FFA chapter conduct a surplus hay drive in our community during the month of May, with the proceeds to be distributed to a drought-stricken FFA chapter in Kansas. As maker of this motion, number 3, you have first right to discussion.
Thank you. I brought this motion to the floor because Kansas FFA has always been a huge supporter of Illinois FFA, and we've always had a really close relationship in the past. This would be a way to show our appreciation to them, so I encourage all of you to vote yes.
Madam Chair. Number 4.
Thank you. I think that this would be a fantastic idea for a multitude of reasons, but the most prominent being that the drought was absolutely terrible for the Kansas chapter, and we could benefit from our community service hours, and I believe it's a great idea, so I encourage you to vote.
Madam Chair. Number 2.
Thank you. I'm firmly against this motion because our farmers just don't have hay to give out to the Kansas FFA, and we just don't have room to spare. And as a farmer's daughter myself, my animals and livestock depend on all of the hay that they need in nutrition, so I urge you to vote no.
Madam Chair. Number 5.
Thank you. I'm absolutely for this motion. This is something brand new that we have never done before, so it would be very interesting to see how this goes and how much it will help Kansas. so vote yes with me.
Madam Chair.
Number 1.
Thank you. I'm heavily opposed to this motion, seeing as though it'd be too late to plan and to prepare for, seeing as it is May right now, so I strongly urge you to vote no.
Question
Madam
on the
Chair.
inquiry.
Please state your question.
Can I go to the bathroom?
No, you may not. I believe that it would be a distraction to our meeting, so therefore I will have to deny your question.
I appeal the decision of the chair.
Appeal has been called by number 4. Again, I believe it would be a distraction to our meeting. So all those in favor of upholding the decision of the chair, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, please say no.
No.
The decision of the chair is upheld.
Madam
Parliamentary
Chair.
inquiry.
Please state your inquiry.
Thank you. Does this motion require a second?
According to Robert's Rules of Orders, this motion does require a second.
Madam Chair.
Number 2.
Thank you. I move to limit debate at one discussion at 5 minutes each.
Second.
It has been moved by number 2 and seconded by number 1 that we limit debate to one discussion at 5 minutes each. Let me remind you, this requires a 2/3 vote. All those in favor of limiting debate, please signify by standing. Thank you. Be seated. All those opposed, please stand. Thank you. Be seated. With a vote count of 1/4, the motion fails.
Madam Chair.
Number 4.
Thank you. I move to refer this motion to a committee of 4 appointed by the chair given full power to act.
Second.
It has been moved by number 4 and seconded by number 1 that we refer this motion to a committee of 4 appointed by the chair given full power to act. As maker of this motion, number 4, you have first right to discussion.
Thank you. I believe it'd be a fantastic idea to refer this motion to a committee of 4 because we don't know where we're going to get the hay. We don't know much about this at all. We don't know how we're going to coordinate with Kansas. So by referring this motion to a committee, we'd be better able to figure out all the strings that are attached. So I urge you to vote for that.
Madam Chair.
Number 1.
Thank you. I move to amend the motion by striking out 4 and inserting 7.
Second.
It has been moved by number 1 and seconded by number 2 that we amend the motion by striking out 4 and inserting 7. As maker of this motion, number 1, you have first right to discussion.
Thank you. Having only 4 people on this committee would not be a great idea, seeing as it's a large project and we need more people, so 7 would be a better number, so I strongly urge you to vote yes.
Madam Chair.
Number 5.
Thank you. I agree with the previous speaker. This is going to take a lot of help to get through with this, especially since we have never done something like this, so we're going to need all the help we can get. So vote yes with me.
Madam Chair.
Number 3.
Thank you. I called the previous question.
Second.
Previous question has been called by number 3 and seconded by number 2. Let me remind you, this requires a 2/3 vote. All those in favor of passing previous question, please signify by standing. Thank you. Be seated. All those opposed, please stand. Thank you. Be seated. With a vote count of 4 to 1, the motion passes. We will now vote on the amendment. All those in favor of amending the motion by striking out 4 and inserting 7, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, please say no.
No.
The noes have it, and the motion fails. Is there any further discussion on the referral to a committee of 4?
Madam Chair.
Number 1.
Thank you. I call for a 30-minute recess.
Second.
It has been called by number 1 and seconded by number 5 that we hold a 30-minute recess. Let me remind you, this is amendable and requires a majority vote. All those in favor of holding a 30
Point of order.
please state your point.
I believe that this motion is amendable.
Point well taken. Are there any amendments to the motion?
Madam Chair.
Number 2.
Thank you. I move to amend this motion by striking out 30 minutes and inserting 5.
Second.
It has been moved by number 2 and seconded by number 3 that we amend the motion by striking out 30 and inserting 5. All those in favor of the amendment, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, please say no.
No. Division.
Division has been called by number 5. All those in favor of amending the motion, please signify by standing. Thank you. Be seated. All those opposed, please stand. Thank you. Be seated. With the vote counted 2 to 3, the motion fails. Is there any further amendments? Seeing none, you will now proceed to vote. All those in favor of holding a 30-minute recess, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, please say no.
No.
The noes have it, and the motion fails. Is there any further discussion on referral to the
Madam Chair.
Privilege.
Please state your question.
May I use the restroom?
No, you may not. I believe that it would be a distraction to our meeting, so therefore I will have to deny your question.
Madam Chair.
Number 2.
Thank you. I'm heavily against this motion because referring this to a committee of 4 would just allow in a tie, and we don't need ties because then somebody's opinion couldn't be heard, so I urge you to vote no.
Madam Chair.
Number 4.
Thank you. Although I previously called for the referral to the committee of 4, after hearing discussions from my fellow 4 members, I believe that 4 is just too small of a number and we're not going to be able to get much accomplished with 4, so I am in opposition to the motion. Madam Chair.
Number 3.
Thank you. I rise in opposition of this motion, seeing that last time we had a committee, it just ended in disaster. Nothing got done. There was a lot of clashing opinions. So I would encourage all to vote against.
Madam Chair.
Number 5.
Thank you. I'm strongly against this motion because, as we have said previously, this is just too little of a number to accomplish such a big task, especially when you involve another state that we've never really talked to. So I strongly encourage you all to vote no.
Madam Chair.
Number 2.
Thank you. I call for previous question.
Second. Previous question has been called by number 2 and seconded by number 1. Let me remind you this requires a 2/3 vote. All those in favor of passing previous question, please signify by standing. Thank you. Be seated. All those opposed, please stand. With a vote count of 5-0, the motion passes. We will now vote on the referral to a committee of 4. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, please say no.
No.
The noes have it, and the motion fails. Is there any further discussion?
Madam Chair.
Number 1.
Thank you. I move to postpone this motion definitely until our August meeting.
Second.
It has been moved by number 1 and seconded by number 2 that we postpone this motion indefinitely to our August meeting. As maker of this motion, number 1, you have first right to discussion.
Thank you. I believe that we should postpone this until our August meeting, seeing as though it's already May. And if we start discussing this in August, we'll have a full year to get it done, so I strongly urge you to vote yes.
Madam Chair.
Number 3.
Thank you. I move to suspend the rules so that we don't have to stand and gain recognition from the chair.
Second.
It has been moved by number 3 and seconded by number 2 that we suspend the rules so that we don't have to gain recognition from the chair. Let me remind you, this requires a 2/3 vote. All those in favor of suspending the rules, please signify by standing. Thank you. Be seated. All those opposed, please stand. Thank you. Be seated. The vote count of 1-3, the motion fails. Is there any further discussion on the postponed definite?
Madam Chair.
Number 2.
Thank you. I am wholeheartedly against this motion because postponing it to August would just disable the whole point of this whole motion as a whole, seeing that it is in May and not August. So I urge you to vote no.
Madam Chair.
Number 4.
Thank you. I am wholeheartedly in favor of this motion because we have a lot going on right now with our seniors leaving and our trip to the John Deere machine factory. So I just believe that postponing this until August is a great idea for our chapter, so I urge you to vote for it.
Madam Chair.
Number 5.
Thank you. I move to postpone this motion indefinitely.
Second.
It has been moved by number 5 and seconded by number 2 that we postpone this motion indefinitely. As maker of this motion, number 5, you have first right to discussion.
Thank you. I read this motion on the floor because we simply do not have time to go through with this right now. The year is ending and seniors as well as juniors are very busy with testing. So I strongly encourage y'all to vote yes.
Madam Chair.
Number 1.
Thank you. I call for previous questions.
Second.
Previous question has been called by number 1 and seconded by number 2. Let me remind you this requires a 2/3 vote. All those in favor of passing previous question, please signify by saying standing. Thank you. Be seated. All those opposed, please stand. With a vote count of 5-0, the motion passes. We will now vote on the postponing the motion indefinitely. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, please say no.
No.
The noes have it, and the motion fails. Is there any further discussion on postponing the motion indefinitely?
Madam Chair.
Number 3.
Thank you. I am in favor of this motion because it makes sense. Because harvest is in the fall, so then it would just be a better time for us to do this with Kansas. So I encourage all to vote in favor.
Madam Chair.
Number 2.
Thank you. I am heavily against this motion because while this would make sense with harvest in the fall, hay season is not in fall. It's in the summer. So that would just make the most sense to me and all the farmers in our world. So I urge you to vote no.
Madam Chair.
Number 4.
I call for previous question.
Second.
Previous question has been called by number 4 and seconded by number 1. Let me remind you this requires a 2/3 vote. All those in favor, please signify by standing. Thank you. Be seated. All those opposed, please stand. Thank you. Be seated. With a vote count of 4-1, the motion passes. We will now vote on the postponing the motion definitely. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, please say no.
No.
Division.
Division has been called by number 4. All those in favor, please signify by standing. Thank you. Be seated. All those opposed, please stand. Thank you. Be seated. With a vote count of 4-1, the motion passes. Is there any further discussion?
Madam Chair.
Number 2.
I move to adjourn this meeting.
Second.
It has been moved by number 2 and seconded by number 3. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, please say no. Meeting is adjourned. Please stand for questions.
All right, contestant number 1, you had postponed definitely. What is the purpose of postpone definitely by special order?
The purpose of postpone definitely by special order is to postpone motion until a special meeting.
How long can a motion be postponed if an FFA chapter holds regular business meetings every week on the same day?
The meeting, the motion can be postponed until the next meeting.
Number 2, you had limit or extend debate.
Yes.
The motion to limit debate requires what vote to pass?
The motion to limit or extend debate requires a 2/3 vote to pass.
When is the limit debate considered exhausted?
The motion to limit debate is considered exhausted after the meeting has adjourned.
contestant number 3, you had reconsider. The motion to reconsider can only be made by the member who voted with the prevailing side. Explain this.
So the person that can move to reconsider means that they had to vote in favor of the motion when it was first voted on in order for it to be brought back up.
There is a time limit on a motion to reconsider. What is that restriction?
The motion to reconsider can only be brought up the next meeting after it was voted on.
Number 4, you had division of assembly.
Yes.
How soon can a division of assembly be made?
The division of an assembly can be made directly after a verbal vote.
When a division of the assembly is called, the chairperson is not obligated to take a counted vote. In large assemblies, how would the members demand a counted vote?
In large assemblies, members would demand a counted vote by requesting such from the chairperson.
Number 5, you had parliamentary inquiry.
Yes.
What is the purpose of a parliamentary inquiry?
The purpose of parliamentary inquiry is to gain more knowledge about the parliamentary law and whatever part that you wanted to know about.
The chairperson's response is not the chairperson's response to a parliamentary inquiry is not subject to an appeal. Why not?
It's not subject to an appeal because it's not asking permission or anything, but rather asking the actual facts of the law.
And last but not least, Madam Chair, if you are instructed by a motion of the Assembly to form a committee, who selects the chairman of that committee?
The person that selects the chairman for the committee is the one that brought the referral to the floor.
The chairman is responsible for maintaining the proper decorum in a meeting. This includes expecting floor members to conduct themselves in a professional manner, demonstrating proper etiquette when debating a motion. Robert's Rules of Order establishes rules of decorum in debate. Name 2 of those rules.
Can you repeat the question?
The chairman is responsible for maintaining the proper decorum in a meeting. This includes expecting floor members to conduct themselves in a professional manner, demonstrating proper etiquette when debating a motion. Robert's Rules of Order establishes rules of decorum in debate. Name 2 of those rules.
One rule is to obtain the floor by the chair, and the second rule is to adhere to Robert's Rules of Orders.
Very much. You guys are all finished. Go ahead and leave your motion cards in here and your number cards in here. Good job.